Hi, how you doing? I'm Megan Catherin. Um, I wanted to remind you that you are here for bigger things. And although those bigger things may not have yet surfaced where you go, oh, there's this big project or activity or, you know, thing out there, right? There's more this understanding as a light worker that you work the light. And so it's changing that frame of mind around when and where you're doing this. It's not hidden and covert anymore. It's happening all the time. You're anchoring light, you're putting light codes into the land, you're receiving things, you're shifting things, you're allowing yourself to be a conduit. And you're working on building your framework, your auric field, your conduit, your mechanisms, so that you aren't caught up in everything that's going on around here. You can act as the mystic being and allow the light to travel through you for things to occur and to unfold that are to your benefit as well as others that maybe they don't recognize because they're seeing it from the 3D point of view. And so I had this experience this week where it was about recognizing and being invited once more to recognize that you don't play the 3D games and your mindset is not that. You don't get called or pulled into those types of slipstreams. And the slipstream was inconvenience. It was this projection of inconvenience. And how it showed was literally through roadworks. It was a literal experience, a physical experience that was happening that was inviting me to look at things differently. But I had to come back to presence because I got pulled out of presence and back into some old habits. And the habit was to basically go, they are inconveniencing me. How dare they? I blame them. And to get into this stress and requirement of being places because something's important, when perhaps it's not as important as what else is required in this world now. Your importance, what you as a divine being are perceiving as important or even intentioning as important is changing. And we're becoming the 5D beings that we already truly are, that the world, the earth is already, and we're shifting the reality to that. So we've got to shift our own perceptions in that, shift our embodiment in that. So that's part of what's going on. And this is how they showed me through and my own higher self, the universe, source, all sort of coming together to make this happen. And it may have had other effects for different people that were involved, but for me, it was about letting go of some of those effects, and not sort of going, where's the cause coming from? And sort of saying, well, actually, I have other purpose with my light. These things are happening, but I don't necessarily get pulled into those streams or those mindsets or the illusions that can happen. So I'll give you the story. Basically, I've just got it written here because I've written it, but it was just this thing about staying higher and more buoyant was the invitation in what is called inconveniences. The acceptance in inconvenience, knowing that it has another purpose as well, right? And to not kind of project onto everybody else. So how this unfolded was I went through roadworks, right? So we've been having this construction works for about a week or so at the end of our road, or just there's a couple of about 4 roads involved. But from these 4 roads that are involved, as in they can't get through, it's only on one road, but there's an exit on that road. Let's show you an exit here, and then it comes off, oh, a bit hard. And there's a bunch of streets running through here, all intersecting, and there's another exit here. So the only way out is on this street. This exit was blocked. This one was open. This street was blocked. So you could come down here, down the street and turn that way, but you couldn't go back down that way. And if you were coming around and coming to, oh, it's back to front, sorry. So this exit, should have done the picture. You can't come out because I blocked it. Point of the story, 2 exits out for a bunch of streets and one of them was blocked. So we'd gotten used to this. So as I pulled out to go babysit my granddaughter and take her to school, I went the way knowing that, oh, that the top exit is open. Went to the top exit and it wasn't. It was closed. As I came to reach it, I thought, oh, what have they done? They must have finished the other end and they've closed that one, moved up the road a bit to do more roadworks, and that other exit must be open. I have to go back to the other exit. So before I reached there where the young girl was standing, I turned into a side street that is a cul-de-sac and did a U-E and came back and went round. Got all the way down to the other end almost and saw two cars doing little U-Es, 3-point turns to get round because it was blocked. Lost my crap. Not huge, but like, what the frick? That stupid girl, like, she's got it wrong. She's blocked off the street and they're clearly still doing all that roadworks there. She's supposed to block off the long street, and so that we can get in and out, but she's blocked our street. So anybody coming down that street would have gone straight into the roadworks, basically. They would have just driven in. They wouldn't have said, stop, this road's closed. You need to turn around, or there's an exit, detour back there. So anyway, all the confusion of this, right? I was really annoyed, and in my head, I was just like, oh, it's all her fault now. I'm inconvenienced. I'm late. I've got round to there. There was two cars already there. There was two cars I had to follow back around. And the five of us, literally, she started to unblock it and let them through. And by this time, I'm 5 minutes behind where I was, and I'd already left knowing the inconvenience was going to be there. But suddenly there's a new inconvenience, a stupid inconvenience. Who stuffed this up? What are they doing? All that stuff. And now I'm even later. And yeah, I was kind of like, oh no, what's she done? Blah, blah, blah. I get to the house, run in the door, and I'm telling, my granddaughter's father that, oh, it's all their fault. There's daftness and miscommunication that these roadworks people have had. And sorry, I'm late, but it's their fault. Like and I was caught in this slipstream of, inconvenience. Like, you're inconveniencing me, and I could feel it coming from everybody else. And it was just like it was everybody's fault. And yet, really, it's happening. Fault or no fault, it's happening, right? It doesn't matter. I just couldn't be in that acceptance. And I was just creating all this negativity around it. And, I couldn't switch into that frequency of peace. I didn't even realize that I was getting so wound up about it. It didn't even hit me at the time. In fact, I just went on to do what I needed to do with my granddaughter. He ran out the door, I carried on, sidetracked with her, sorting her out for school. Didn't think about it again. Stupid thing, funny story, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't peeved by then. I was only because once I'd kind of gone, oh, it's not my fault. I felt like I was okay, right? Oh, but I would have sent him off now in the same inconvenience. I have now inconvenienced him. At least he's not blaming me. He'll be blaming that girl or the roadworks, right? But at the same time, I've sent him off in that same energy. But what that energy was really about, what we were caught up in, was this economic machine. Keep the economic machine going. Don't be late. Don't be late. It's very important for this date, right? It's just that crap. But I didn't really think about it. As I said, got on with what I was doing. Where it started to show itself to me was that my granddaughter, my alarm went off on my phone to say, right, we've got to get going. I always give it a bit of padding so we've got time for mucking about a bit. But she wanted to finish what she was doing. And I was pretty relaxed. I was like, yeah, sure. I've got padded time in there. That'll be fine. Go ahead. She finished what she was doing eventually. And I just walked out the door, got in the car, but then went, oh, crap, look at the time, right? So I'm like, back into that inconvenience. Oh, crap, we're late. I race up to the school, and because of the way I go from her house, they're actually at the back of the school, but I have to go around a big block of houses and come back around to the front of the school where her class is. which I usually do because we usually have time. But for the first time ever in the entire school year, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go to the back end and we'll walk through. And in my mind, it was in line with her classroom where that car park was, and we were literally just going to walk through past so many classrooms in a line. But as we got into the school, walked into the school, I realized we were actually on the other side of, here's her class, there's the square, there's her class, and over, well, so hard, over here is the direct opposite, opposite is this whole, we've got to go across the entire school from one diagonal corner to the other diagonal corner. And so we race along, and I'm not panicking too much, we're here, whatever. She's young, it's not a big deal. But we literally get into her class as the siren's going. She's entering her class, and I'm thinking, well, that was okay. We managed on time. Now, I'm not in a huff or angry about it because I've gotten into that piece and it wasn't a big deal and not that invested in it. She's slightly late, so be it. But I was kind of walking out back, having to walk back through the school again, thinking, what am I being invited to? Why is this all happening, right? And this was happening to show me how, inconvenience and lateness and getting into that energy. Now, there was no blame here or anything, but it could have been easy for my granddaughter to sort of go, oh, if she was late, oh, I'm late because of my grandma, when in reality it was her. I could get cross at myself because I shouldn't have listened to her, just got her on and got her to school because, we've got to do this economic machine shit, right? But wasn't even about that. I was just like, what is this? And it was showing me, because then I went back over the roadworks and sort of went, wow. And I really did get quite cranky with that girl. Like, I was really sending her some nasty energies, sending the roadworks people nasty. Who's getting it wrong? Why can't they figure this shit out? Surely they can see this, right? Whatever. And honestly, by the time I did head home, it had all been sorted out. Someone somewhere had said, hey, you've got it wrong, and they'd sorted it out so that, we could enter back and forwards, and the block that part was blocked as it should have been. But yeah, this whole concept and frequency. So as I'm walking back, I thought, what is the invitation in this? What am I being synchronized into here? Because that's the truth of it. Something is synchronizing to show me. Something is showing me I'm still carrying some stuff. So just in this experience, what does it bring up? Well, yeah, it brings up a bit of blame and shaming and whatever, and all that unpeace, the non-acceptance, what was important, what was truly significant, and what isn't. And that's, as I began to walk, I thought, this is not how I want to operate. This is not what I want to do. I want to be sending love and peace. The fact that I can blatantly see that the girl's got it wrong, I should be sending her love and peace, not freaking out about it, right? But the urgency of others and keeping them going and not wanting to disappoint and all the other stuff, like there's a shit ton of things that you have to come to terms with as you've experienced it all, letting people down, getting in trouble, being kicked out of something, losing your job, right? Whatever it might be, losing friends because you're always late, or whatever the story might be, all those bits and pieces. And so I just kind of was witnessing a lot of that. But then I was also going, I don't want to focus on what is wrong. I want to focus on what is right. So what is right in my life right now? What is the invitation for the right? And that's when I realized, I come up to where the big grass quadrangle section is. And I thought, I don't want to walk around the square on the pathway. I actually want to walk through the middle of the grass. I need to put my feet on the grass. And, school's dead quiet by this time. Nobody's there. So off I go, walk across the grass, and I can feel it. I can feel the downloads. I can feel the energy going through my feet. I can feel myself anchoring light, anchoring codes. And I asked Spirit, what's happening? And they said, well, we've just gone through the gateway. That was actually the 12th, the day after. And we've just gone through the gateway, and we're actually anchoring all this information that you've been doing for the last however many weeks. You've been preparing for the gateway, preparing your body, doing a lot of technical work with your physicality and readiness, getting rid of a lot of programming and so forth, and last things, and changing up for the new pathways. And it was anchoring that in there into the school for those who walk across the school or are part of the school. However, I don't know how it works. It's energy. I just know the energy was moving, and my team told me that's what it was. And I thought, oh, none of this is inconvenient. The inconvenience of the roadworks was perfect for me to question how I was behaving. And to sort of go, hang on, that's not, I want to keep putting out that love and peace and not get into the whose fault and what's wrong attitudes. But also then the opportunity where, okay, now I've kind of created this lateness again all on my own with my granddaughter, and yet it was on purpose, and yet it had a purpose to it, a divine purpose, a much higher purpose, the purposes I would much rather be aligned to in my divine being. What am I here for now, right? Now that I've been doing all this work, what is it for? And how can I help? How can I assist Source? How can I assist the Ascension teams? How can I assist the concept of evolution, not as a concept, as a speaking it, but doing it, showing it, demonstrating it, helping move Earth and all her needs as well, eradicating whatever energies needed to be moved, putting in the higher energies that will do the intelligent work. I don't have to pass it all through my body. I'm just passing on the higher lights that I've been anchoring in, or having a conduit through me. I've become the conduit of the moment, what wants to work through me. Okay, and that's why I'm doing this video, is to invite you to check out some of these same things. What are you being shown that you're still holding on to as a habit? Upholding the economic machine stuff, or the illusions, or the non-truths, or old beliefs, or just the swept up in the moments of the energy, right? You know, first thing in the morning, it's very easy for us to not be quite awake and to be swept up in all the energies that are running on the roads, right, where the people are. It could be that you are being invited to offer assistance in an energetic way. And then, so you're going to be inconvenienced. We need to look at inconvenience a little bit different and go, hang on, this isn't inconvenience. This is a redirection. This is a timing thing. Something's changing up on purpose so I can do something beneficial here. It's not to rescue. It's not to save people. It's to participate and co-create and act as that conduit, that feet on the ground, that enablement for the light to move through. The point of it is you came here with the intention of being a, gosh, I don't even know what to say, a beacon, I suppose, but a gateway. You are a gateway in some way. You're opening up all the portals of your own energetic being to the strengths of the source, of heaven, of the higher realms, of the divine, that which sees the unified field and understands what is happening, what needs to be rectified, what needs to be cleared, and what is opening up and can be followed. All of that, right? The rebuild, the redirection, the resourcing, and the clearing of what is no longer, whilst anchoring and learning about ourselves in this process. What are we capable of doing? What is opening up in you? Since this gateway, there will be a lot of people starting to open up in new ways. Lots of different things. People that have maybe been doing certain things, maybe going to different jobs, different ways with their technology, their body technology, their experience and awarenesses, and what they're here to share, whether that's physically talking it, or putting arts and creative things, or something else where it's quite more land orientated or group orientated, community orientated, but not necessarily known. There's going to be things that are well known, and you're going to step up into those and be seen in them, and then other things, and that might be in small groups, big groups, small units, individuals. But there's also lots of things you're going to be doing just because you are there available. You are the one that they can work through, that source can work through, that heaven can connect to you, to the earth through you. You are part of that. And so there's so much around what is true requirement, what is true provision, what is true charity right now. And the responsibility, not the responsibility of, oh, I'm responsible for being on time or my boss will get angry. Right? And I'm not saying to go ahead and, oh, this is an excuse not to. This is all just about your responsible self and the responses you are giving and how you can be a helpful channel to this amazing energy that's been coming in and still to come in. I did write some notes about things, and I just wanted to see if there was anything else that I wanted to say to her. Oh, I think I covered it. So, what are we doing about the blaming and the shaming? What's perceived as a fault but isn't? What is these other things that are going on, these inconveniences that actually are creating a convenience for you to do other things, to do the higher work, to be there in a different way? And that is about that nervous system, getting it all calm. It is about changing up your auric system, clearing out your dimensional bodies, opening yourself up to the sun, the stars, and all that you are as a signature source being, all of that. Ascension, evolution. You're playing a bigger part now. And so, take another look at what you do when it comes to inconveniences. The littlest of ones can actually be quite mind-blowing. Best wishes to you, my beautiful peoples. Thank you so much for being here and doing the work.